Okay, let me ask you something. What do you think makes a better first impression? A really friendly chat, looking someone right in the eye, or just a simple handshake? Now, you might think you know the answer, but I'm willing to bet it's not what you'd expect. It actually reveals this incredible secret to human connection that's hiding in plain sight.
So, let's start with this really fascinating psychological experiment. It was set up to figure out the exact moment a positive connection forms when you meet someone new. And trust me, the results were genuinely surprising.
All right, so I want you to put yourself in the shoes of someone in this study. You're about to meet a total stranger, but under 3 very specific and, yeah, kind of weird conditions. Which one do you think would leave you feeling the best, the most positive about the other person?
Okay, so picture this. First up, scenario 1. Your eyes are covered, and all you can do is talk to the other person. No seeing them, no touching. Scenario 2, total silence. You just look at each other. A bit awkward, right? And finally, scenario 3. Eyes are covered again, not a single word is spoken, but you just share a simple handshake. So, which one do you think wins?
Yep, it was the handshake. And honestly, it wasn't even close. The experiment found that people who were introduced only through a handshake, without any words or even seeing the other person, they consistently walked away with the most positive, warm, and likable impression. So the really big question is, why?
And that question, that why, it takes us right into the heart of psychology. It turns out that in those first critical seconds of meeting someone, our gut feeling isn't really about what we say or even how we look. Nope. It's about something way older, way more primal, making a connection through touch.
And when you look at the results, the difference is it's wild. The introductions that were all about talking or just staring, people consistently describe those as feeling formal and cold. But the handshake? That was described almost every time as warm and trustworthy. It just triggers a completely different and way more positive part of our brain.
You know, this really gets to the core of what's happening deep down, subconsciously. A handshake is basically an ancient signal, like an evolutionary shortcut. Back in the day, an open hand meant, hey, I'm not holding a weapon. And that physical contact creates an instant feeling of, shared humanity. It just bypasses all the overthinking and immediately says, I'm safe, I respect you, and we're connected. So this isn't just some weird thing that happens in a lab, right? Let's look at how this plays out in the real world. Because this is practically an art form. And some of the most influential people out there have absolutely mastered it to build trust and create allies.
I mean, just think about it for a second. There's a very good reason pop idols hold handshake events. It creates a personal bond that just listening to their music can't. And politicians? They know the deal. They're out there shaking hundreds, sometimes thousands of hands a day to build that grassroots trust. And of course, in the business world, it is the absolute cornerstone of networking.
And here's the best part. It's just so much more efficient. You could spend, 5 minutes giving a formal, wordy introduction? Or you can build a stronger, more sincere connection in the 5 seconds it takes to shake someone's hand. It's an amazing shortcut to building real, genuine trust. Okay, so this is all great, but how can we actually use this in our own lives? I mean, you don't have to be a celebrity or a politician to get this advantage. There are these little, everyday moments where using this can make a huge difference in how people connect with you. Here are a few super easy practical tips. When you exchange business cards, don't just pass it over, make it part of a handshake. When you're saying thank you, or it's so nice to meet you, let a handshake go along with the words. Even a tiny, respectful touch when you're giving or getting something, like change from a cashier, can create this brief but really powerful, positive connection.
And get this, there's a fascinating side effect. That physical connection doesn't just build rapport, it actually encourages honesty. Yeah, research has shown that people are way less likely to lie to you right after they've shaken your hand. It's like it sets this baseline of trust that's surprisingly hard to break.
So as we start to wrap this up, it becomes really clear that we need to rethink this whole handshake thing. It's not just some old-fashioned formality we do without thinking. It's actually one of the most powerful and, frankly, most overlooked tools of human communication we have.
I think the biggest lesson here is that we tend to underestimate the power of these small actions. A handshake is this deeply human signal that speaks a language much older than words. It says warmth, sincerity, and we're on the same team in a way that almost nothing else can.
So the next time you extend your hand to someone, just remember this. You're not just going through the motions. You're building a bridge, a connection to another person. What kind of bridge are you going to build?